I don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. Everybody, I hope y'all are well. Jania, I will be getting your products out to you by Monday. Let me get straight to the point so I can get up off of here. Last week, my daughter, I did not tell y'all the severity of the situation. Last week, there was a life or death situation concerning one of my girls. She was admitted into the hospital for about almost 7 days. Y'all know that's a lot for me because I've already lost a child. So I shut everything. I shut everything down because that's my child. I did get on here um, when I let y'all know it was getting closer to the day for her to get out, for her to be released. She was released on Tuesday. Y'all know the restrained relationship between my mother and myself, which is documented here on this channel. And I've said a lot to y'all about that. Um, I've also made it very clear several times on this channel that I've learned that one of the most effective ways for me to have a peace of mind concerning her is to ignore her when she starts to try to press buttons to get a reaction. She's an antagonist, so she will press buttons to get a reaction out of you. If you don't give her a reaction, a lot of times she'll leave you alone to regroup and see what else she can come up with to antagonize you when she come back to see if she's gonna get a rise. And I had been doing such a good job that she just really didn't know how to come at me. Unfortunately for me, that left me to several. It left me vulnerable in the sense that, you know, ever since I was a kid, I've always heard my aunts and my uncles murmuring and whispering throughout the family that she had mental illness issues. And this used to embarrass me as a kid because, number one, I knew she had spiritual gifts, but I also seen that there was some form of a chemical imbalance within the brain because I could always, as a child, see it in her eyes. I really can't explain what I'm saying to y'all, but it was something about her eyes where I can see that it was like if this light switch was on or off. That's the only way that I can explain it. And when I was a kid, I could see when it was on and when it was off. You know, when she was her, when it was something else there. And the older I got, the more she could not manipulate me to become like my brother. My brother's 8 years older than me, and so she threw. When we were kids, she used to say this all the time in church. She used to brag about how her son never became a statistic. He never had kids out of wedlock. She never had to go and bail him out of jail. She used to always say this as testimonies. And I remember one day she got up in front of church and she said the same thing. She was like, "I'm so glad that my son ain't never been in jail. He ain't got no stray kids out here and blah blah blah." She used to say he was a virgin when he really wasn't. She didn't know. But in her mind, he had this squeaky clean image. And I remember one day after I had my first daughter, she turned around and she said, "I can't say the same for my daughter, but God's working on it." And I just remember that really, really, penetrating my spirit. Um, but anyway, and it was because I had my daughter at 18, my firstborn. Make a long story short, when I went to go get my daughter from the hospital Tuesday, I asked her because I knew that my mother was going to try to push her buttons to get information from her. What happened? Just pushing buttons. And my daughter specifically told me that she just did not want to be bothered with somebody just breathing down her throat for information. Mind you, my children's relationship was becoming strange, was becoming strained with her as well because she was starting to snap on my kids, my girls. Mind you, this is a temporary. This was a situation was supposed to be temporary. I had been being bullied since I've been back there, and y'all know my story. I told y'all I really had fought God. I really did not want to move back to Louisiana because I knew going back there, amongst her, I just didn't want to deal with it. So apparently, this was a chapter that needed to be closed or dealt with or whatever the fuck. Um, but I ended up going there. Mind you, I want to clear this up because I'm not surprised if the ex-husband be watching my channel, and I really don't give a fuck at this point. I didn't run back home to hide. I know that I'm very well able to be found when I ran back to Louisiana. I ran so I can be safe because I had a home field advantage. And Louisiana don't play that bullshit. When a man put their hands on a woman there, they going to fucking jail and they being prosecuted. Now I can't say nowhere for anywhere else. I know, Arizona played games with me and denied me my restraining order because they couldn't take my kids. testimony because at the time both of my girls was underage. And you know, as I've told y'all before, this motherfucker waited till I left the state of Arizona to go and press false allegations against me to get a restraining order. And of course, I couldn't show up to contest it because I was never there. He lied and said he didn't know where I was. He knew my ass was in Louisiana, so therefore he lied. So I will be pressing charges because that was a false allegation for him to get that. And again, this is a narcissistic tactics. This is what narcissists do. Tuesday, my daughter came home and we had been watching the window because my mother would go and sleep at her client's house. Now, when I say client, she was doing like CNA work, but it was like in house. And her and the woman, I guess they call themselves being close as an older lady, and she would go over there and for some week or two at a time, she'll stay over here. And we would get real quiet when she come back because we didn't know what Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde we was gonna get. Well, I did tell my children on high alert, be on high alert. I told my girls be on high alert because I kept having these dreams about her trying to harm me. I I kept I kept having these recurring dreams of her trying to physically harm me. Kept trying to, and I was saying to myself, I kept rebuking it. I kept rebuking it. I kept saying, I was like, return it to sender, whatever, whatever. And so Tuesday, when I went to go get my daughter, and we got home, and me, the baby was at school, so he didn't get off the bus until after 3. So it was just me and my two girls talking, and I was in the kitchen cooking them some. We did like a fried egg and cheese sandwich, fried zucchini and some other stuff. So anyway, we was talking, and one of my girls said to me, she had been having this dream about her, my mother, trying to hurt me. And I got real quiet and I listened. Because a lot of times when I have dreams, it's warnings. And I am fortunate enough to be able to interpret dreams. But I knew something was up when my daughter proceeded to tell me one of her dreams was similar to the dream that I kept having. The premonitions that I was having while I would be doing things, I would have this premonition. And her dream matched exactly, this premonition in this dream. So the same day I got one of my daughters out the hospital and we came home, we seen the car driving up. And I had already told my daughter, I got out the hospital, I said, in the event she's coming back, because I said she's been here in and out lately because she's trying to see when you're going to come, because she's going to want to ask you a bunch of questions. And, you know, they both had stressed to me that she had been acting really weird and just different things. Like they would go in the room and just stare. They wouldn't say anything. Acting just have this like possession energy about them. And they were stressing to me that they were already uncomfortable. So I told them, a little while longer, we're going to be up out of here. We're going to be up out of here. We're going to be up out of here. So, sure enough, that's her coming down the lane. Parked the car. I heard and told my daughter, go in the room where I'm at, lock the bathroom door. She come in. I locked, well, I didn't, yeah, I did. I locked the room door. And my other daughter was in the other room across the house. And she just had the door closed like it usually is. She was just acting normal. And she came and knocked on the door where me and my other daughter was in. I said, yes. She said, I got to get something out the dresser. So I paused. And I took a deep breath and I looked down because I knew. I knew. I just closed my eyes and I said, God, I'm not gonna not open up this door, because if I don't open up this door, she's gonna get more riled up doing whatever she owned, because I could feel her spirit, I could feel her energy. She opens up the door. I open up the door. I unlock the door. And I said it's open. She opens up the door. She goes to her dresser. That ain't even the bad part, right? Of course, it's a firearm, right? The thing about it is the firearm does not have a clip, and the clip didn't have it. The clip was not with the firearm. So she slams the dresser drawer, and she's walking to my brother's room. She's stomping. She walking real slow. She got that old nigga walk. You know that walk, like if somebody pull out their shit and they got it in their mind and say, I wish a motherfucker would. Like, she walking with that kind of confidence. I didn't say anything to her, as I usually don't say anything to her. So, she knocks on my brother's door, and I'm trying to eavesdrop on the conversation, but I'm just standing up over the bed, and I'm not moving. I'm not making no sudden movements. I ain't said nothing. I'm not even making eye contact. I already had most of my stuff packed. I had started to load up my vehicle. About day by day, when she's not there, I sneak stuff in the car. I would have my daughters pack their stuff. I would pack my son's stuff with mine, and just day by day, slowly but surely, I would just inch stuff in the car. He had the clip. He didn't give it. Listen to me. I'ma just be honest with you. I've never been so scared but calm at the same time in my life. I never. I've been raised in the hood. I've been from project to project, hood to hood. Like, I've been in the slumps. I've been in the country. I've been in wherever you can think of. I've been there. A small part of my life, when we were living with my aunt and uncle in Vallejo, California, that was like on some Fresh Prince of Bel Air shit, and that didn't last long. It gets worse. She ended up just going on a rant. I guess she was feeling herself now that she had her power, right? And I'm not giving her a lick of energy. I'm just letting her rant. I'm looking down. I'm looking at the floor. I'm looking at the wall opposite of her. And I ain't saying nothing. I'm not rolling my eyes. I'm being very quiet because y'all have to understand something. It was told to me by an aunt of mine that she had stabbed my brother's father uh, either before he was born or when he was small. And he lied to the police and said that he got robbed and he didn't know who did it. It happened so quick. They came up to him and, held him at knife point, and then, they struggled and tussled behind a wallet, and they slit his arm, and then they got away with it. He lied and told the cops that, but it was her. It was her. My aunt was there. My aunt who passed away told me that my mom had did that, and that so I never put it past her. Hearing the rumors as a kid of her siblings saying that she had a mental instability, and then growing up and seeing the mood swings and different things like that, it was making sense. And I knew she was undiagnosed. I always did know she was undiagnosed, but I never seen that she would come for me. So she's ranting, right? She going in. She's ranting, man. She is ranting, and you know, I ain't. I'm just like, God. As long as she don't put her hands on me or try to do something crazy, I'm just not going to respond. I'm just going to let her have it. It's not worth it because she had threatened me before. You know, several times to put her hands on me physically. She used to. I don't mind going to jail. I can bail myself out. Like she'll say look crazy shit like that, and I wouldn't respond. That's my mother. I wouldn't respond. When she started talking about physical violence, I just kept my head down and was saving as much money as I could toward the day to get up out of there. And I was doing my best to leave quietly. That was the goal. The goal was to leave quietly. So she's ranting, and then she says, I ought to just take you out right now. That's what she said. Because you were so well deserved. The way you've been acting around here. Now, mind you, I ain't been acting. Number two, I ain't been doing nothing but staying out of your way, you and your son. And my children are my witnesses. I don't fool with them people. When folks are at a level of toxicity that you no longer associate yourself with, you just stay away, or you just don't respond. And you're right. Whoever said that in the comment in a live chat when we said from one abusive person going from one abusive person to the next, is true. I ran back to Louisiana because I thought I was safe. She's even said I deserved what happened to me. She said that out of her mouth once. And I know I became a real enemy when I stopped hating my father for her. That's how she operates. She's a dark empath. That's worse than a narcissist. And she's a Cancer sign. Go figure. So, makes it all. Well, take the zodiac stuff up out of it. It is what it is. Dark empaths is going to do what they going to do regardless of the zodiac sign. That shit is the least of my worries. But when she said that, I I faked like I was calling the cops at first. I didn't call the cops at first because I wanted to see if she would back up off me. I was hoping that I could just buy at least like 2 more days, just back up off me, you know. So I faked like I was calling the police, and she went back into the front room and sat down in front of her computer. Because when I be on the lives with y'all, I'll be doing these readings and go live and stuff, and she be in the front room, and you hear her, commenting in the back as if like me and her kick it or something like that, and I be looking at y'all like giving y'all these looks like that's her trying to make it seem like she's in my life, but she's not in my life. Like just doing weird, random shit like that. But you treat me like trash, and you have the audacity to call yourself a minister. Not used to call yourself a minister. You call yourself a minister now. And y'all wonder why I be so heavy on the I don't fuck with Christians. Closest thing I can see myself dealing with is Christian witches, and I'm still watching them. Cause I have found in all my days some of the worst people I've ever came across were motherfucking professed Christians. I'm just being honest with y'all. Y'all know my story. I used to be an ordained minister, and I took my ordination. I was always rebellious against the status quo. That is, I would see people come in there looking like they need prayer, looking like they need help on their last string of hope. And they could be looking dirty in the face, maybe coming off the street, trying to find a church for prayer, trying to hold on or find some type of faith left within some type of strength. And people was, don't touch them. Don't go over there and pray. I'll be the first one over there to pray. Because who are we? I couldn't understand for the life of me, how can we profess to be Christians when you treat people like shit? See, when I was in the world, I was heavy in that motherfucker. When I was in that world, I did exactly. I was proud to be in the motherfucking world. When I became a Christian, I was strict on myself. I didn't play that shit. Anything that I put my mind toward, I go hard for it. I'm loyal to it. And maybe that's my problem. I feel like I've been too loyal to the things and people that I've been loyal to. They ain't been loyal to me. I'm always getting fucked over every time I'm loyal to somebody or something. And it's always something. It's always something. Like, where's the law of reciprocity when you need it? When you putting out good energy, you ain't getting them else back but people shitting on you. And it's not making sense to me. It's just not making sense to me. Well, little did she know my daughter was in the bathroom. She heard the whole thing. She didn't know this. She thought my daughter was in the other room with my other daughter. And she's just going on how she basically told me. She was like, she didn't basically, she said it. She said it out her own mouth. And she proceeded to say it 2 other times. And I'm going to break it down to you. She said, the first time she said, because I should just go ahead on, I'm not going to say the word. She said, I should just go ahead on and do it right now because you sure would so deserve it. And I'm sitting, and my heart was so hurt because I'm like, what did I do to you, number one? And what did I do so bad to you that I would deserve for you to take me up out of here? Like, it wasn't making any sense. There was nothing that I did to you. And here I was, like a dummy, searching my heart, my mind, my soul. Like, did I do something to her? Really? Like, what did I do for her? Like, and I'm trying to search myself to take the blame for something to make this shit make sense, and I couldn't find nothing. And I'm just like, what is going? I'm like, God, what did I do? Like, and I couldn't find nothing. So I just kept quiet. So I got on the phone. I was acting like I was calling the police. I really wasn't. She went back and she sat in front of the computer, and she's overhearing me talking, but she's thinking I'm calling the police, but I'm really not. And she said these were, y'all, on my daughter's grave, I have no reason to lie. She says, yeah, and if you call them the police and they show up at my door, then I'm sure going you. You understand? And I'm saying that, saying to myself, and y'all, don't think that I'm underestimating this woman. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not underestimating her at all, because you have to understand, again, she got siblings that's physically afraid of her, because they know what she capable of. Apparently, again, I'm a kid and I heard stories, but I remember one time they was telling me how, I think I was newborn, and they was having a family meeting, and she got upset at the family table and stood up, and they said she took a glass, like a drinking glass, and she slammed it on the table, and it broke in her hand, and her hand was like really bloody. And they said she just stood there and just kept going off. It was as if like nothing had happened to her hand. And one of her sister-in-laws had to literally grab something and wrap her hand up while she was talking. It's like she didn't flinch. These are the stories that was told to me. I used to overhear these stories at first when I was a little kid, but then when I got old enough, I would be with my uncle, her brother, that shared the same mama, same daddy. And I remember one day he was working on my car. This was some years ago, and he told me out of his own mouth this specific story that I'm telling y'all. And as I got older, I guess certain people in the family were like, I can handle it. I can, might as well let her know. But it's almost like looking back, it was like little warnings, little warning signs. Y'all have to understand. Let me finish this, and then I'll go to what I was getting ready to say. So the second threat was when she said, if I'm calling the police and if they show up at her door, then she really gonna SHOOT me. So now my anxiety is up and my PTSD is going off. I'm triggered, but I'm breathing and I'm doing my best to stay in my body and stay calm. But I can feel like the walls. Sorry. I can feel like the walls is like closing in on me, right? And I'm staying calm because I'm not thinking about me. I'm thinking about my kids. And I'm just breathing. I'm like, okay. So she walks into the room she gets up, and she's still ranting now, y'all. She comes back into the room where I was one more time. And then she said, I should, and I'm paraphrasing when I use the verb, okay? She was like, I should off you right now, because, see, I didn't already live, and I ain't got that much to live left. I'm already old. And her eyes is big, her eyes is beady. I can see that something else is there. Something, remember when I told y'all earlier about a light switch, on and off light switch? I can see something is missing. Something ain't there. Like something there, but it ain't there. That's when she's ranting now. That was the third threat. And now I'm looking at the cues in the air, because remember, y'all, I used to be in the medical field, so I've seen a lot of shit working in the medical field. And I know what belligerent people look like when they are working themselves up to execute something that they're thinking about doing, right? Whether they thinking about harming themselves or harming someone else. I'm looking at the cues, and it's like climbing up a mountain, right? It gets more steeper and steeper till you reach the top. And I'm looking at her, and the third time she's talking, and I can see her body language getting way more animated. She's getting way more amped. And I can sense her adrenaline is now starting to pump, which letting me know is you're working yourself up to physically execute what you're saying out of your mouth. So at this point in time, when she walks out the room, I then take, because I literally felt and heard in my spirit, you need to not fake like it. You need to call. You need to call now. I heard it very calm, and I heard it. And I proceeded to call the police. And when I called the police, um, she, of course, she lied. She was like, she didn't threaten me and blah, 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 and this and that, the other. And then they asked her, why did you go in? If you didn't threaten her, you wasn't planning on doing anything, why did you, go into the room and take what you took out of the, what you call it? And they was asking her. She was just like, I was just giving it to my son to hold, but there was no reason for you to go in there. We, I've been back here, what, for about a year now? And I've been back here for a year now, and you've been having that in the same place. There was no reason for you to move it, but you flexed. You was flexing. That was your way of flexing, and you proved that you was flexing by your words and your actions. And I had to execute because at this point I was tired. Listen, y'all. Had I would have not called, I'm pretty sure she would have tried to. Most likely, she would have done me harm. There's no getting around it. She would have. It that day would not have ended well. The thing about it was that it hurt me because I was trying to figure out what was the issue. I didn't under Y'all have to understand. Listen, I'm telling y'all right now, I have been many things in my life, but I've never been a prostitute. I've never been a thief. I'm not a robber. I'm not a drug addict. You gotta go. No, no, no. So anyway, yo, the spirit of jealousy. Something that I really did not want to believe this thing was on her. So anyway, the cops will interrogate and they'll split both parties up until they. So my brother comes out the room and was like, she didn't say nothing. Now, mind you, he locked up in his cave playing his video games and watching porn or whatever the fuck else he do while he in there and he not at work. Um, he in there, so he ain't hear shit. He's very passive. He's a boy in a man's body. He's not grown. He don't know nothing. They both codependent on each other. And so I tell him the truth. And I told him, I said, listen, I said, ever since I've been back, I said, the more healing I've done, it seems like the worse they both get. The cold-blooded part about it is my brother stopped talking to me because of her. He don't even have no excuse. There's no reason for him. He just stopped talking to me, period. I didn't do him nothing. He just, because of her. Mind you, he used to say little slick shit, you know, like I never will forget. Like I had a song with some Mexicans about. I was still in my teens. I was still in my teens. I think my firstborn was maybe like a year old, maybe 2 years old. I ended up writing and getting on this song with these two Mexican brothers. They were rappers, And one of them, they used to be gang affiliated, but he turned his, they both had turned their life around. But the older brother was the one who was, he was in the streets real heavy, and he was the main one who turned his life around. The little brother, turned his life around, but it was like this testimony of his, and so he would make this inspirational, music, and it wasn't like Christian and that. It was just real inspirational type of stuff, and so I remember writing the hook and singing throughout the song, and it ended up getting placed on the radio, local radio in Louisiana. And I will never forget. Um, I remember telling her, this was when I was younger now, and he didn't say nothing, my brother. And I remember something happened, and he looked and he said, we was all in the kitchen. He said, "Why she always got to get, you know, uh, like the leg up or something like that?" And I just told him, I said, because I'm putting actions behind what I want out of life. I'm not sitting here waiting for the shit to drop out the sky like it's like the raindrops is gonna form into the opportunity. Like, you gotta put yourself, out there. You gotta go and put yourself. You gotta seek what you want. You gotta make the connections. And he's not socially savvy. He don't have that kind of, he's not. They're both socially crippled. They're mentally smart. They're mentally smart, but they're street dumb. They are socially slow. And so I made it about my business real early on, because I've told y'all this before, that a lot of people in my family used to be like, they used to call my mother's last name, which is a French last name, because my great grandfather's from France, born and raised in France. He was an illegal immigrant here. And they used to say, they would call her last name, they're a weird pair of people, they some weird folks, and they be like, they smart boy, but who, everything else is like they. And I used to be embarrassed by that, so I made it about my business when I was a little kid, to hide whatever genius, whatever intellect that I had, to cover it up as best as I could, and thrust myself out in the streets. Because mind you, my father wasn't there, and my mother worked so much, she didn't raise me. So I was always, just in the streets, like kids do, whatnot. And this is Vallejo, California, circa 1990s. So anybody who's familiar with that area in the 1990s, it wasn't easy. It was rough back then. As I'm hearing, it's even rougher now. Not sure. I haven't been back since I was a kid. But anyway, my daughter comes out of the bathroom while the cop is asking her, did you say what she's saying? And her and my brother's like, she ain't say that, and she like, I ain't say that. My daughter comes out the bathroom and she said, yes, you did. I heard you. But this is the part that really got me. The look of disappointment on my child's face. Because y'all got to understand something. My children, my girls, had canonized my mother like a saint. You have to understand. And she built an image in their mind of her off of how they looked at her, as Mimi can't do no wrong, but your mother can. So you have to understand how deep this goes. It goes deep because this was, since I've been back, her attempts to, when she know I'm gonna move again, she is doing her best to try to butter my girls up so that they would decide on their own to stay with her instead of coming with me. This is the sick shit she does. So she had been working on their minds to turn them against me. This is what she does. You got to remember, she's the type of person that if you don't do what she says, you are dubbed the enemy. If you don't do what she, this is the type of person who you could say something out of your mouth jokingly. It could be something as small as, girl, them socks, them mismatched socks, and one ain't matching. Girl, you had to take them. Your feet look crazy with them socks on. And you would think in your mind that, a normal person would be like, oh, shrug that off. But about a month and a half later, she gonna bring that shit up. Yeah, because, and she'll wait till an argument is ensued. Yeah, because you don't like me no way. Because you was talking about my socks last month. You remember, you was talking about my socks last month and shit. And she'll say stuff like that. And I'd be like, but that was a joke. Like, you can't play with somebody like that. You can't, you know. So anyway, um, I'm sorry, y'all. We got a group of young kids passing. Let me just let them pass, y'all. So anyway, the cops get down to the bottom of it. But the first thing they do before they, of course, before they even ask both sides of the story, he was like, "Where's the firearms?" And he took him, got rid of him. Then that's when he started asking questions. Y'all, I was getting blamed for shit. I promise y'all, I have no reason to lie. I swear for God, I was getting blamed for shit like the dryer stopped working. I wasn't even using her dryer. I was hanging my clothes up to dry. Or I would just go to the laundromat. When the dryer started working, she literally told me, she said, "See, since you've been back, things been falling apart." Mind you, it's an old ass dryer. Secondhand, by the way. Very old. And she does not believe in getting things fixed. She don't believe in calling somebody in if something breaks and getting it fixed. She would just let it stay there broke. She has a poverty mentality. She's not gonna want to spend money to get nothing fixed or anything like that. My hand is shaking right now. Yeah, so I would just get blamed for everything. That house is older than my middle child. And if something would, y'all, I kid y'all not, there was a time where rain would fall in a certain, like, toward the door. And the lining on the part of the door is pressboard wood. So y'all know if it gets wet, it's going to swell. It's not real wood, right? Real wood is not going to swell. But because it's pressed wood, it's going to swell. Well, we live in hurricane country. Now, here we are with rain season coming in. I get blamed for that too. Like, I can't win for losing. I can't lose to win. Like, it's just I can't win no matter which way I turn. I'm turning wrong. No matter, I breathe wrong. I walk wrong. Everything I do is wrong. And when I was young, yeah, I was rebellious because I seen the pattern. I seen the pattern. She was trying to do me like she did my brother, buy a bunch of video games so I could stay in the house and not become a statistic like she would say in her when she was standing up to testify about her son being clean and pristine. Mind you, I want to tell y'all just a small story. While my brother was taking up for this woman, and mind you, they did cuff her and book her. She did go to jail. My girls, I'm pretty sure, they don't want nothing to do with her. They seen it for themselves. I don't have to turn nobody against nobody. She showed herself for who she was, and they finally was able to see through the facade that she was painting in their mind. And I didn't have to do nothing but sit back because eventually, masks gotta come off. So anyway, this is the so I think few not but some years ago, my brother was working toward the Gulf of Mexico, and you know I lived in a little rural town. Um, and in order for you to go toward the Gulf of Mexico, it was like an onshore, not offshore, but onshore, like an oil field, but onshore. And in order for him to get there, he had to pass through the sticks, and there is no street lights back there. Well, make a long story short, It was like in the wee hours of the rising, like maybe like 3:30, 4 a.m. So he has to be to work real early. So he would get up. This was again years ago. Years ago, he would get up, and I think this was before my daughter who passed away was born, or like maybe right after. It was around either right after she passed away or was right. So it was like maybe like around 2014 ish, 2015 ish, right? So he gets up every day like he usually does, wake up, go to work. Well, this day was different. Okay, there's a few houses where he passing through the sticks. They ain't got no street lights. Hell, this little area you passing through, they ain't even got a zip code. That's how small it is. So he's passing through there like normal, and there's a little boy. I don't know what he was doing up that morning, but he was chasing the family dog across the street back and forth. And my brother was sober. He ended up hitting the little boy, and the little boy died. Okay, they did an investigation, and they said that the grandmother who was supposed to have been watching the child was drunk, fell asleep on the couch or some shit. This is what they said. My brother then gets out of his car with the car door still open, run toward the little child holding the little boy, I guess telling him stay with him or whatever. So he's calling for help, calling for help, calling for help. And probably about a half a mile or a mile away from him, there is a man coming down the same road who is heavily inebriated, by the way, on his motorcycle. Freak accident. The guy is not paying attention. He hits the open car door, flies off of the motorcycle. Okay? This all happens in the same breath. So it was almost safe to say, unfortunately, you know, that little boy most likely would have got hit. The person who did it was not inebriated. They ended up jailing the guy who ended up hitting the car door because he was so inebriated he wasn't paying. Now he had to be on a motorbike. Like, how do you be inebriated on a motorbike? Make it make sense, but whatever. They ended up jailing him because he failed the breathalyzer test. I think he was over twice the legal limit. And they took my brother in for questioning. They didn't cuff him, but they gave him a breathalyzer test. He passed. And I can see my brother is an emotional wreck, and there's nothing I can say at this time. I just want to be a support system, and I'm just like walking, in front of his door praying, just God give him peace. I don't know what else to say, but every now and then I'm like knocking on the door, asking him if he's all right, and I can see, and his eyes is puffy. It was just a fucking mess. So then I prayed, and God told me these words. He gonna have to get rid of that car. It was a white car, and the dent in the hood where the little boy was hit was there. And I specifically heard that the car was cursed. So I was outside at the time I was married, and I was talking to the ex-husband at the time. We were still married, and outside, and I told him, and he confirmed. He had actually said it out his mouth first, and I said, "No, you telling the truth because I've heard that in my spirit. He's gonna, there's a curse on the car." So we were talking. My brother steps outside, and he asks me, "What, what do I think he should do about the car?" And I told him, I said, "You're gonna have to get rid of this car." So he walks. Mind you, he's terrified. He doesn't want to drive. He walks down the street to the Progressive Auto Insurance broker. It's literally right down, and you can walk there. He walks there, and from the account of what the woman told me, he breaks down and starts crying. She said she had never seen a grown man cry like that. She just let him get it all out, whatever, whatever. Mind you, he had not been able to cry like that when he was home. So he comes back or whatnot, and about a couple of days later, my mother knocks on the door. So, son, when do you think you're going to be able to go back to work because we got bills to pay? She wasn't worried about his mental health. She wasn't worried about nothing. Mind you, The baby's stepfather was a cop, and it was a Cuban family. I felt so horrible and felt so bad. It was the local lady who dealt with seafood, and ironically, we would patronize her business before, way before this even happened, and I felt so horrible about the situation, and I'm pretty sure he was never the same again. But every time he would try to leave the house and start his a life of his own. Mind you, he ain't married and he ain't got no kids, so there's no reason for him to just be there. She would do something to keep him there. She would start panicking and it would change his mind. There's no reason, but again, this is a woman who don't want to be by herself, but yet she treats people like shit. And one of the last words I told him before I left, I said, I told you, you are only the golden child until I'm not here. This is what I said to him. I said, when I'm gone, it is going to get worse. It's going to get turned upon you. I also do believe, I have grounds to believe that my mother may have been doing witchcraft on me. One more story. Um, I was, remember I told y'all I was like talking to this guy who worked for the city last year. Wasn't that long. A second. Good Lord. I don't know. Do you want to be seen? Is that what you think? I don't know why I'm shaking. I'm just waiting for them to leave. Of course, Afro Confessional. Anybody against me is a friend of hers. So remember I told y'all I was seeing a little guy last year. I ended up, I stopped talking to him because it was just too much. You too old to be playing games, and so I had to just did that. But anyway, he was working for the city, or the town rather, and that's kind of how we met because the water meter needed to be fixed, and he was there. And I just so happened to be looking out the door to see like what the problem was. I was hearing water, but I didn't know what was going on, and I ended up having to be there to open up the door. So anyway, that's how we met. And he was asking me questions because he seen these beads, these beads on my wrist. He was asking questions, whatever. So I ended up introducing him formally to my mother last year. This all happened last year. And, you know, um, let's say, let's say for example, let's say he wanted to take me to the casino and go get something to eat, right? Let's say if he came to pick me up and he would come inside, you know, we're old school country people, he come inside, wait for me while I'm stalling him. You know how we do, just doing the last touches on makeup or whatever. And we weren't official or anything like that. We was just some dating shit, whatever. So um, she was. I had to stop letting him. I had to stop letting him come in there because she was flirting with him. And I thought maybe I was being a little bit too much, and I was like, nah, she ain't doing that. And we was in the car, and he was driving, and he mentioned something, and he said something, and I looked at him. I said, I'm glad you said something because I would have sat here this whole time, and I said I would have thought that I was just in my own mind. Okay, but every time he would come by, she would even tell him like, oh, with your handsome self, she would say stuff like that, and it would make me feel uncomfortable, and it was just, I didn't understand it. So it's just it was little things like that. And after I stopped speaking with him and I cut him off, he called himself trying to bring a few toys by the house for baby Mystic. But I wasn't there when he did it. You know how niggas be when they really want to talk to you, but they so fucking scared. They want to bait you toward them. So let me do something that looks like it's nice, or let me do something nice, and maybe that'll make her show up and we talk and maybe rekindle some. I had already knew what time it was, and I was like, fuck no. So what I did was I took the toys and I put them by the dumpster, for when the people come, they would trash the shit. So she came home from work or wherever she was, and she seen the little bike sitting in the trash. And to spite me, she went and got it out and chained it to the fence. And I was like, why would you do that when I'm throwing this stuff away? And she said, because I might want to kill a little kid around here. You never know. She was doing her best to try to retrieve shit from the trash that I was throwing away. And it wasn't just the stuff he get. It was little, it got worse with the stuff he was giving me, or trying to give me to bait me, to back in, whatever. Um, Basically the nigga was trying to have me in a third party situation, and I was not with the shits. And I'm not, listen, anytime somebody try to make you into a third party, they're definitely trying to make you to be the second choice. In other words, the fallback. And I'm nobody's second choice. I'm nobody's first choice. If anything, when you look at yourself and you think you believe or know you are worthy enough for something good, you should be someone's only choice. And so, anytime someone can't make up their mind about me, I will make it up for them. I'll just get ghost. There's no explanation. Cause to me, you being on the fence is a decision. That's just how I operate. If you're not sure, if you can wake up and be sure to brush your teeth and wash your ass and put on whatever color drawers you decide to put on, you should be sure enough about who you want in your life. And that's just how I operate. And so, I just wasn't with it. And he wasn't used to dating black women anyway. So I was like, when he started dating me, everybody, even his colleagues and stuff, they was all surprised. And they was telling him he was glowing and all this other stuff or whatever. And, you know, um, so of course he went back, to her, which that's fine. Do what you got to do. When I left him alone, he had never really closed the door. Um, they had supposedly we met when they broke up, so you know how that goes. She was she kept trying to come back around, but me and him were dating, so of course that's how that happens. You got a new toy in front of your face, and so you ignoring the old one, knowing that they gonna always be there. Let me see where this go, and if it don't work, I can always go back. That's what it was. And of course, I didn't realize it at first because it wasn't really that serious. It wasn't getting that serious, but we just kept dating and kept dating. And of course, he started to get more serious than I was getting because I was still on the fence. I still had trust issues. And anyway, by right, I had, by right, listening to my intuition, and eventually had to go. So I say all this to say, he gave me like a little fan, And this fan, um, I was using in the room where I was staying at, and she had a box fan. My mother had a box fan. So when she would leave to go to work, I would take the box fan and put it in the window so I can suck the fresh air in the window, because she don't really believe in opening up blinds and letting the sunlight in. She don't believe it. It's like gloomy shit. I don't like that. So when she would leave, I would open up windows and get some fresh air or whatever. And she would open up a window too. But it wasn't like she was doing it for fresh. It was just weird. But anyway, um, I put the box fan in the window a certain way, and then it fell. I don't know if a gust of wind came in or something, but it tipped over and it fell, and one of the blades broke. So I made it about my business to go to the store and buy a new one, because I did not. I already knew she was gonna make a big deal about it being broke. In my mind, I was like, she's gonna make a big deal about it being broke. But let me just soften the blow by doing the most courteous thing that you can do, which is replace what you broke. And I didn't want her to think I was doing it on purpose anyway, because she would be the type of person to accuse me to do some shit like that on purpose, and it was not. No. So anyway, I ended up going and getting one, and so when she came back, I see her getting out of the car, so I hurried up and ran and put the new one where the old one was. And I usually don't say nothing to her, but I was like, one of the blades broke on your old, because it fell out the window. I said I replaced your fan, and she says, no, I'd rather have that one. She's pointing to the little bitty fan that he gave me. That was the only thing that I did keep, because it's a fan. I'm not giving away. I'm not getting rid of no damn fan. So I kept it, and I'm like, this big ass box fan, and you want and then it dawned on me, she want that fan because that's what he gave to me. And I can go on and on, you know, and I can go on and on, This is coming from a woman who will be pressing people's buttons. Um, when I was younger, I was in high school, and she got into it with one of my auntie's best friends, and I kept telling my mama, be quiet, stop talking. Again, she's an antagonizer. She likes pressing people's buttons. Anybody, don't matter, anybody. And she's pressing this woman's buttons, and I can see this woman. She's inching toward my mama. More and more. And my mama's standing there because she's not all the way up here, y'all. So she ain't the type of person who gonna come towards you and start talking shit. She talking her shit, but she's not moving, and she letting the lady inch more and more toward her. And my aunt with her messy ass is watching this shit go down. Now I'm in high school, so I'm underage. And this woman is talking her shit, and my mama talking her shit, and blah blah blah, and this and that to other. And she was like, she threatened my mama. My mama said, and she just said, well, why don't you just come on and do it then? She was walking toward my mama, and I got in front of her, and I said, you ain't putting your hands on my mama. You gonna have to go through me first if you wanna put your hands on my mama. My mom would antagonize people knowing that I would jump in front of her to shield her. I enabled. I gotta admit it, man. I enabled it. I didn't put a battery in her back, but I damn sure was enabling it. She knew I would shield her, and I've done this multiple times. Even when you would get into it with her own siblings, I've shielded her more than one time. Good video. What do you mean good video? Mary, I'm about to hide you as a user on this channel, because that's just a weird ass comment. I'm sorry. Good video. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Mm. So here I am. relocating. Um, by way of my divorce, the joint custody order ordered me back to Arizona effective June 1st. Against my will, of course. So I don't know why. I don't know why this is happening to me. I thought I would be safer around family. And I felt like I jumped out of the frying pan into a boiling pot of water. And the reason why I say it in reverse is because, they say in order for you to kill a frog, you don't throw the frog into the frying pan. They can leap out that way because it's the reaction to the immediate heat. But if you put a frog in room temperature water on the stove, it will slowly, and you put it on high, the water's going to get hot. And without that frog's knowledge, it's going to slowly cook. And it's not going to be aware of the danger, right? That's how I feel. I feel like coming out of that marriage and running back to Louisiana, it was like I went out of the frying pan and I ended up going into a pot of water that I didn't know was being set to boil. I thought I would have been safe. You know, she knew what I had went through. She knew what I went through. And all she did was stomp me down. She stomped me down. She didn't, I didn't have any emotional support. I didn't have any, I went from literally one jail to another. I just learned to be more passive in order to just do what I needed to do financially so I can leave quietly. So I say this. I'm not sure yet. I may end up having to close. Um, I don't know. I've been trying to hold on to the little I have. Um, I don't understand what is it. What is it? What is it? I don't understand. Like, my whole life has been this merry-go-round of non-reciprocated energy, and I don't understand. I honestly thought that when you heal and start doing the healing work, that at least your life change. The people that you attract into your life, that is different as you heal. And this is why I personally don't believe that the type of person you are, you attract. Like, I don't believe that you attract mirror people. I just don't. It doesn't make any sense. Me myself, I've seen people change. I mean, do a complete 180 and still attract fuck people. And that's how I know. People just be leeching off of your energy or whatever you want to call it. And I just don't understand it with me though. I thought by now I would have been out of this energy. And then I can't help. I can't help. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm trying my best to not do this. I don't even know if I should or shouldn't even be asking myself this question, but I be trying my best to not ask myself, like, what am I doing wrong? Because I low-key be feeling like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm really out here trying to do as right, as best as I know how. Like, I ain't doing shit out here to break the law. I'm out here, I ain't putting out no bad juju. I'm out here helping people, using my skills, like, whatever healing gifts I got. Like, I'm really out here putting out good energy. And I'm just like, what in the fuck is it? Like, what is it? I just feel like I've been stepped on all my life, man. And I can sit here and say somebody out there got it worse, but honestly, I'm not worried about somebody. I'm talking about me. I'm just tired. I'm tired. I'm tired of this merry-go-round of, like, the suffering. I could have seen if I did something, like, if I was a horrible person, or I did something, like, but in my mind and my heart, I'm like, I did not deserve none of this. The most that I can do right now is, I already had pre-made, I had already made soaps, so what's available on the website is ready to be shipped. I don't know when I will be able to create or make anything, but if I come across any necklaces or trinkets, I know that I can get them to y'all. But as far as, like, making candles and making soaps, right now I'm not in the capacity, because I'm making my way, to Arizona. I am making my way there, again, because of the court order of joint custody. So I don't know how much more longer I'm gonna be open. Um, I got some products that I need to mail out already. Um, I may have a reading or two, which, um, I'm doing that, but I'm just thinking about, disappearing from social media altogether. Seems like everything that has been giving me solace has been taken from me. My music, and now this. I'm trying to hold on to the Mystic Healer. I really don't know what else to do. I've already been looking for work ahead of time, and if I do indeed end up getting, when I end up, depending on the hours of the day of the job, I might just give this up altogether. Go dark, go under the radar, and just disappear. Just put my head down and bury myself and work. Um, No, they didn't grant me an order of protection, Scorpio Goddess. They didn't grant me an order of protection because the testimonies of my children was not allowed in the court, and their testimonies was first-hand testimony. But they, so now being forced. You know, there ain't no laws against narcissists, man. Yeah, y'all don't be asking me no questions. I don't want to hear shit about no machete mom or none of that. I just don't. I don't want to hear nothing about. Honestly, I'm not trying to be ugly, but I just everybody's, you know, got advice, and I get all of that, but I'm not for it right now. It's low key setting off PTSD. I'm gonna just be honest with y'all. If you can't pray for me, don't pray at all. If you can't pray for me and my children, just don't pray at all. Cause right now I can't pray for myself. I can't pray for myself. And I'm tired of hearing this shit about you strong and who the fuck want to be strong? Who really wants to be strong? Why? Cause I'm black and I'm a woman? I gotta be fucking strong all the time? And then when I go out there in the world and I'm strong, then I'm too fucking masculine and I'm too manly. Don't nobody know shit until they go through what you go through. I've been having these triggers of wanting to go and buy some cigarettes, and I've been fighting that so bad. I want to get a drink, been fighting that. The closer I get to Arizona, the more my PTSD flares. Because I remember when I was there, how I had to run for my fucking life. But it ain't important until it happens to you or someone you love, you know. Thank you for your donation, Paradise J. I I need all the help I can get. I'm not gonna lie. But I can't be taxing folks, man. I ain't never been the type of person to just be asking because you never want to be people's burdens, bro. But it's so funny how people are so quick to ask me for help and I just jump like a fucking dummy. Just tired, y'all. Tired. Even soldiers get tired of going to war all the time. Like, tired. That stuff that's been posted on the community board was already scheduled. Those were scheduled. These are scheduled posts. I scheduled those posts for specific times and days to drop before shit had even happened. So all of the funny Fridays and all of that shit, that was before this. So it may seem like I'm just like over here giggling and laughing at it. No, that was before. I had to leave. My daughter couldn't even go to her graduation because we were afraid that my brother was going to bail her out and she was going to show up on some fuck shit. I know you're not trying to be disrespectful, VK. I'm not saying that you are being disrespectful. What I'm saying is I think we as a people, anybody, and I'm talking about as the human race, I think we need to be more mindful and careful of how we say things and what the connotation of real truth behind the things that we say. We always want to talk about people's strength when they're going through, but that's not the thing you want to harp on when somebody's going through it. People who's going through it, they just you see people time and time again, is they be fucking tired. Don't nobody want to hear nothing about no fucking strength. That is indirectly telling that person, well, it'll be over soon, but just keep going. It's like readying them to take the next fucking attack. It's like well, you strong, you gonna. It's like instead of just meeting them where they are. And I know a lot of y'all, and I'm not saying this to make y'all feel some kind of way. I just want y'all to understand what that does to somebody. Cause people be scared to tell folks what that shit feel like to them when they going through it. You on the other side may mean well, and some of y'all be saying that shit cause y'all programmed to say it. If take it where it fit, where it resonate. But the truth is, to the person who's going through it, to say somebody is strong when they're going through some shit, it's like a redirection to have them re-ready themselves to continue to keep taking something like something else is gonna come. It's not about being strong. And we can fix the word and say, well, you're resilient. I don't give a fuck about that word either. At this point in time, I'm motherfucking tired. I ain't got nobody except my kids and their dependents. So I don't have nobody. Nobody. Family, nobody. The people who I thought were my friends were not my friends. I haven't had friends in a very long time. 2 years ago, the people I thought were my friends in Arizona was putting my ass up for a sacrifice for fame. They weren't friends. They were fattening me up for the fucking kill. So you see, I'm tired of always giving and getting shit or lower than shit in return. I'm tired. I'm tired. And I'm tired of motherfucking being tired. And I'm tired of being diminished. I'm tired of being looked at as less than. I'm tired of going through this shit. And I'm going to be real. Had I would have been light skinned or white and be in the middle of the road, every fucking car is going to break their neck to help a damsel in distress. But because I look like this, it's like my skin is my sin. I got to fucking struggle. But yet, because I look like this, when other people going through, it's the strong one. Go to the strong one. I'm fucking tired. And I pray that I'm not hurting y'all feelings, because I'm really not trying to hurt y'all feelings. I know some of y'all may mean well, and I know y'all don't look at it like that, and I'm not taking it to heart. I'm honestly not mad. I'm not mad at y'all. I'm just trying to inform y'all. I just want y'all to be more mindful, because the next person may not be like me. Some people are looking for a reason to get that anger off their chest or whatever. And so they may look at you as a target because they ain't got nobody else and they tired of. That's how people go postal, man. They get tired of being the one being picked on, so they start doing the picking. I ain't like that, but I am getting tired of picked on. I'm tired of being a punching bag. I'm tired of being a doormat. So I'm just choosing to just shut off all the way. Cause now I finally see this world for what it is. It's a bunch of cruel motherfuckers who are miserable, so they want to make your life miserable too for no necessary reasons. I'm starting to see more bad than good as I continue on. And so I honestly don't think ain't shit worth saving. I just want to be able to raise my kids and inform them on how to move around in this life. That when they get grown, it's deuces for me. I'm just not. America deserves every motherfucking thing that's coming. Again, y'all, I'm not mad at y'all for saying. So I'm just tired of being fucking strong. I know how many days I got up on this live, smiling, joking with y'all, I was being fucking hurt. Because she would say something that was hurtful. I never, I, you know, she told me her life was hell since I was born. So you blame your life being hell on a baby? I can't, I can't win. I can't win. I can't win. The website was renewed before I left. So I've been paying month to month. If Order of the Mystic Healers does well, then I'll keep it up. But if not, I'm just shutting everything down. I'm not gonna keep giving myself to something that's just not. You know, it's like how much more. And at this point, I'm saying to myself, I gotta be honest, because right now I'm about to be real vulnerable. You know, when I look at all of this and back and I see it, sometimes I look at it and I'm like, what if this is not the devil? What if this is God's doing? In other words, you know, what if I'm just a fucking red-headed stepchild of God? Like, what if I'm like a reject? You know, what if I'm created to be a fucking doormat? Because I'm honestly trying to make sense of all of this. And I'm mad at God. I'm angry. I didn't even get to go visit my daughter's grave before I left. I had to hurry up and haul ass. I at least wanted to put something on her grave before I left, you know. To pack my babies and go. I couldn't even stay another night. I had to go. So you see, I can't be God's I can't be God's angel. There's no way in hell or heaven or earth. Um, I don't know. It's like, am I meant to be evil or something? Because it seems like the more good I do it, or the more, good energy I put out there, it's like shit like this just keeps fucking happening. Am I meant to be fucking evil? Like, just tell me, because I will flip really fast. Like, I will, if I'm meant to be evil, just let me fucking know. Cause I got the juice at this point. It's like, is that why I'm like, this shit is happening to me like this? Am I like on the wrong path? Is what I'm doing like not? Am I not called to be putting out good energy? Like, just let me know, cause I will figure that shit out. You know, it's not making sense. It's not making sense. I can't see myself hating my kids. I can't see myself putting myself through. I can't see myself doing that to my children. No matter how old they got, I just can't see myself doing that. Getting jealous of my kids, or just treat my kids like shit, like this crazy. I would never. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. You gonna come stand right in front of me? Really? I don't get it, y'all. I don't know. None of this is making sense to me. I used to say, I don't know nothing else but love. I used to always say that. I don't know nothing else but love. I think I'm really starting to know hate, though. I'm starting to get well acquainted with hate. Maybe I need that. Maybe that's necessary right now. Hate. Seems like that's the only protective thing that I may have right now. I'm in the grocery store getting something for the kids to eat. I can't look people in the eyes. I ain't gonna lie. Every time I see a black man, I look away. I walk away. If I gotta go down the sugar aisle or the tea aisle, and somebody black there, and I'm not being from being for real, for real. I see a black man. I heard him go down the next aisle. Like, I'm not trying to make eye contact. Nothing. I'm just I'm at this point. I'm past numb. It took 2 days to slow my heart rate down because my adrenaline to get me and my kids out there safely was pumping. My heart was pumping so fast, pumping so bad. Every time we would stop, I would break down. I would break down. I would go in the bathroom and just cry. I didn't want my kids to see. I would just wait till they would sleep in the car while I was driving and just cry. I don't want to hear shit about me loving me first. So you think I've been sitting up here this whole time not loving me first? Is that what you think? Y'all don't regurgitate things. I'm telling y'all this right now. Be very mindful that you don't regurgitate shit you done heard other so-called spiritual gurus say. That ain't always the truth or the case for people. There are folks that's really out here doing the work, loving on themselves, doing self-care, and still end up in fucked up situations like this. Or even worse. So be mindful. I don't give a fuck about a teaching experience at this point. I don't give a fuck about no teaching experience. I don't give a fuck about Earth being in school, learning none of that shit right now. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't. I don't care about none of that. I don't. I don't give a fuck about none of that bullshit. I ain't trying to hear none of that spiritual shit right now. And I'm gonna be real with you. I don't. I don't. Y'all wake like y'all never woke up one day and just didn't want to be fucking spiritual. Like I deal with this shit every day. You think every day I want to be just third eye always just looking at like there's days I don't want to see shit and it's just there. I don't see how people just want this shit to stay on all the time. Like it's I'm not trying to be funny and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just being real. Like I'm honestly, I just honest, just trying to like I'm not here. I'm not trying to hear none of that shit. I'm gonna be real frank, but very respectful at this point. Cause the last thing I want is for y'all to be feeling like I'm disrespectful. I don't want y'all to feel. I mean, y'all can feel the way I want to feel, cause I can't change that. But I'm just telling you out my own mouth. I, I'm not being disrespectful. You can take it the way you want it. I can't help you on that. That's your opinion. But I'm telling you what I mean, which is not to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to hurt nobody. I can't help if you walk away hurt when I'm telling you that's not my heart. So, I mean, I'm not about to cater to anybody's feelings when I'm blatantly telling you, you know, I'm not getting it. Whatever. Um, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I'm gonna have to. I don't know. I don't know what to do. 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 I don't really know where to go. What I do know is when I get there, I will damn sure be on my guard. I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm not taking shit from nobody at this point in my life. I'm not even gonna say come correct or come at all. Just don't come at all. Don't. Just don't. Stay over there. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. I don't give a fuck if you are correct or not. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone. There's too many people out here that they want to hurt you. They want to hurt you. There are people watching who want to see you crying in pain. They get off on that. They sick in the fucking mind. Whack and weak as fuck to be in that kind of energy. That's what they get off on because they can't get off on nothing else. Women don't make their dick hard and men don't make their pussy wet. So they just feel like they're masochists. They like to see people go through pain. That's how they get their rocks off. Like, it's just some weirdo shit. I'm just not. I'm not in the energy to try to figure out if you coming in peace or if you coming being fake. Like, I'm not gonna figure none of that shit out. I'm not. We're not doing it. Don't come toward me at all, ever. I'm no longer a people person. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I don't know. Whatever. I did. I'm doing the best I can with what I got. It's like the little that I have. It's like it's being allowed to be taken from me. I threw myself into my music. That was a safe space for me. It was a safe haven for me. It was my therapy. It was my addiction. It was my friend. It was my life. And now that's gone. This is the only thing I have left. And now I'm feeling like I'm being forced to give this up. It's like, God, God, what? God, where? God, who? I don't care what y'all saying. Some of y'all gonna, oh shit, how you gonna be a spiritual worker and she's talking like that? Fuck you. So you just perfect Patty, perfect Patrick. We never been through no shit to where you just didn't want to. You don't want to believe in nothing. It makes you want what kind of God exists that just would allow this shit to be like this. Like what the fuck? If you ain't never been through no shit hardcore that'll make you question God after you done question life, don't fucking talk to me. You ain't been through shit. You ain't been through enough wars and battles to talk to me. I need people who understand without judgment. Cause I'm tired of hearing the shit. Tired of hearing the labels. I'm tired of hearing the shit. Yeah, you're right. Everybody got a breaking point, and this is my fucking point. And it's broken. It's broken. Tired. I ain't got nothing else to give. Frankly, if I did, I ain't giving shit else. This is it. This is it. Still, I'm getting my coats. I ain't letting shit ride no more. And I think being the opposite of what I've been thus far may work out more better for me than this. This I don't I don't I don't get it. I don't deserve any of this. Not one fucking drop of any of this. I felt like all my life I just was groomed to be fucked over. That's how I honestly feel. Like I was born, raised, and groomed to just be misused, mishandled. Alright. Like I said, the rest of the stock I have left, that's it. I don't know. I don't know if or when I would be able to restock anything. It just is what it is. I'm gonna test this thing out about 30 days from now. And if ain't nothing budging, ain't nothing giving, then I'm closing Order of the Mystic Healers. That's it. I'm not coming back to this motherfucker either. Like I'm not about to do that, close it down and then come back. Like I'm not, it's just gonna be it. It's gonna be just that. It's done. What is the laughing face emoji? Like some of y'all are like, what is happening? Are, what's the point of the laughing emoji, Scorpio goddess? Speaking of emojis, y'all who been getting up on this ritual, and trust me, I did that ritual work in advance. I wasn't stupid. Y'all who've been getting up on that ritual, let me explain something to y'all. Because some of y'all been talking about the emojis I've been sending. Those emojis be random. I had to start sending random emojis because, as y'all know, I used to always respond with hearts. Most likely just the red hearts because that's the first thing shows up on the Cash App. The reason why I started doing different emojis on a random basis is because somebody opened up a Mystic Circle account on Cash App and was acting like they were me, okay? And was trying to get funds. So they knew, apparently, with somebody who watched my channel, when somebody would give to them, they would respond like I was responding, just with the heart. So I started doing random emojis, y'all. Some of y'all are like, well, you sent me a devil emoji. Did I do anything wrong? Somebody else said something last week, like, did I sent the hand emoji, and it was like, did I do, if y'all made a mistake, I would have refunded you. It's just that simple. I understand this. Y'all asking a question ain't no question bad as long as you asking a question to get clarity. But so y'all, some of y'all are reading too much into things. Like it's random, literal random emojis. I'll just peel it up and do like this, and whenever it stops, I just hit one. and or I do that twice and hit one, or do that 3 times, let it go fast. As soon as it stop, I just hit one. Like it's random fucking emojis, y'all. And I'm doing that so y'all know it's me and not some robot. Cause some of y'all still be asking me, is this your Cash App? Or so when y'all get into the rituals, that's why I do that. Sometimes it's people emojis. Sometimes it's plant emojis. Sometimes I'll go with the theme of like flowers. Some of y'all just get nothing but flowers, different flowers. Some of y'all will get different animals. Some of y'all will get just random shit. One of y'all got the floating man with the black hat. Somebody else would get like the hug emojis. Somebody else would just get like a race car driver. Like it would just be random. It's just random. It's a post. That's how I'm doing it. So y'all know it's me, instead of just giving y'all the same fucking heart response like I used to. I'm doing it to let y'all know that it's a person actually picking emojis instead of it just being the first response of a reply. So hopefully that helped y'all understand why y'all getting random emojis, because I'm letting y'all know it's me, because the this other bot is still responding how I used to respond. So that's just the way that I'm showing y'all that it's somebody who's actually having to open up the whole emoji set to go through it versus a bot or whatever. I ain't say nothing about no $5 and 55 cents. I don't know what Scorpio goddess. I don't know what's. Yeah. So um, Epic Mystics. I am going to be more on your side. I am going to finish doing the thing, whatever. Um, I am going to finish. I'm going to be more geared into the Epic Mystic side at this point. I'm not going to be coming on here as much. Um, whatever. You know. The free readings was on the Epic Mystic side this month that dropped. So I will be finishing the free reading side. Epic Mystics only qualified for that this month. Free one question reading. And I am going to follow through. You know, I'm not going to let this shut me down right now. Oh, I thought I thought you said, did you ask me, did I say something about $5 and five? I was like, I ain't mentioned nothing about no 555, y'all. Sorry. Sorry about that. We gotta I am gonna do a conference call with the Epic Mystics. Some things that I want to update y'all on. Um, we do our that monthly group thing that we used to do, and I'm gonna update y'all Epic Mystics on some things from there. It's not gonna be for the whole of YouTube. It's just gonna be for the Epics, and I'm gonna put the Zoom out soon. See if y'all are able to get on there. Everything that I did on this channel, everything that I said on this channel, and I just want y'all to know this, because I'm very well aware that there may be some people for me watching, and also of course you have your haters who don't have fucking lives or jobs or anything else to do, so they watch you too. This part is for you. I am very well aware that some of you are watching this. Um, I do not take back anything that I said on this channel. I meant every fucking word that I said on this channel. Every fucking word. Not only that, but I double down, I triple down on everything that I said. Period. I'm not backing down. I'm standing my fucking ground. And ain't nobody about to knock me up off of whatever I said. Talking about judgment, you getting your issue, all of that. I stand by all of that shit. I don't take back nothing. I want to make that abundantly motherfucking clear. People be quick to celebrate you when you're down. They start acting fucking fool and all that other shit. Okay, whatever. As if that's gonna stop you from getting your ass issued to you. Them karma checks is still coming. It ain't been rerouted and it's definitely coming to your motherfucking door. Hand delivered to that ass. Trust and believe that. So I don't care what situation I'm in. I'm gonna always double the fuck down on what I say. And that's point blank and motherfucking period. Cause see, I'm very well aware that some people will send you attacks thinking that's gonna have you back down or keep you from whatever, whatever. Nah. And like I said before, I meant what I said before and I mean what I say now. I ain't letting shit ride. On the bus, on the train, ship, plane, car, ain't nothing riding. It is what it is, man. So, I don't know when I'll be back on here. I know I'm gonna be on the epic mystic side. That's what I do know. I'm not just gonna be, it is what it is. So, epic mystics, y'all will see me more. Like I said, in the next 30 days, I'm gonna test this thing out, and if it's not giving what it's supposed to give, I'm gone. Um, and maybe that'll be better anyway. People like to use social media to see what you're doing prior into your life, how you look, where you at, where you going. And although I'm just here doing the best I can and be whatever light I thought I was spreading, I don't know, man. I don't know what kind of, I don't know. I don't know. This is just not, it's not making no sense. It's not making no sense. I gotta go. I'm drained. I'm drained. I'm using this weekend to get a game plan together, and I don't know. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm about to get out of here. Um, hopefully I don't know. I don't know. I would say I hope this helps somebody, but how the fuck is this helping somebody? I don't know. I don't know. We I will say this before I get up out of here. If y'all got people who are doing work on themselves and they healing, and, they really are doing their best they can to change their life around. Don't be an asshole. You know, do your best to be in that person's corner. People need to know that they got folks rooting for them, no matter what. So there's a lot of hate out here. It's a lot of hating ass motherfuckers who don't want to do the work, but they want all the blessings. They want the blessings, but they don't want to. They don't want to do what needs to be done to get there. And so, they gonna hate when you do what you're supposed to do for you and yours. You know, um, no longer vibrating where they are. Um, if you have family, y'all close knit and it's real, keep that. You are blessed. Trust me. You got siblings, y'all get along. You got mother and father, y'all get along. Even if they in the grave and you died knowing that y'all were close, keep those memories as best as you can. I know it won't that void of that person not no longer being there, but just do your best to hold on to whatever good memories you have, because I'm telling you, all that shit counts in the end. This life really is about making good memories. Make as many good memories as you can. I don't know. You keep asking me about payment. I can't check anything while I'm on live. I can't. So yeah, I just thank you to everybody who has ever given to me out of the goodness of your hearts, for real. I'm grateful. Thank you to every donation, everything. I am grateful. Whether it was just y'all giving out of your heart space or to a ritual or whatever. I really am grateful for everything. And I'm I'm tired. I am. I'm not fucking tired. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm going